who knew had accidentally pulled out a handgun. Woola was freaked out, clueless about what on earth it was. This is just the grown-up version of La Yan. He pretended to be the bride just to get his paws on the energy dagger. Woola was completely oblivious, trying to find an excuse to sneak out. He dashed into the warehouse searching for the energy dagger, but little did he know, La Yan spiked his drink. Poor Woola could only watch as La Yan walked in, thinking, today is definitely not my day. The two hadn't even found what they were searching for yet. The audience on the scene was left utterly astonished, staring in disbelief at the situation. Just in time, a servant showed up with the dagger, and the crowd's expressions were priceless. Suddenly, as La Yan raised the dagger and reminisced, two fairies turned invisible with a cloak. I must say, this strict rivals Harry Potter. This husband and wife duo was trying to make a bold move, but couldn't catch a break. The guy got fed up and jumped out. La Yan was cautious, planning to escape, but as soon as he stepped outside, the host ambushed him. Talk about bad luck. So the two cats had to rescue him, and they casually grabbed the handgun too. When La Yan woke up, he found himself trapped in a barrier. But through his watch, he discovered the host's identity, his old partner from back in the day. The host returned to meet his partner, and now they had to find the big boss, who was the only one able to use the dagger to open the wormhole. Just as they were discussing this, revived Woola, with two cats, disguised as a Manalaki, slipped in. Surprisingly, the energy dagger glowed. This also revealed the dagger's hiding spot to Woola, just as he was plotting his next move when ironically, someone had him deliver food. At the very moment Woola brought over the food, surprisingly, he stumbled upon his fake bride. These two found they had a common enemy, and while chatting, they got more comfortable with each other. The key is, ever since Woola had his eyes on that dagger, he kept recalling some odd memories. La Yan was left confused by his words, totally missing the fact that what resided within him was actually the alien boss. After causing a ruckus, Woola quickly tossed down the handgun and made a hasty retreat. But when the neighbors came in, they found La Yan cursing like a sailor and didn't think much of it. When he picked up the handgun to counterattack, he suddenly felt something off. Turns out, his food was spiked. But La Yan wasn't the only one poisoned. The two fairies were in the same boat. They planned to hit the host where it hurt financially, but didn't expect to get ambushed right off the bat. As the two slowly became paralyzed and were unable to resist, they finally managed to take a break and began to search for an antidote. Breaking into a mansion at night? Yeah, right, that's not going to be a walk in the park. As a Taoist. If your only skills consist of throwing punches and you lack talents and wisdom in other areas, you're clearly not going to achieve long-term development and success in life. Upon hearing the commotion, the estate owner quickly sprang awake and into action. In that moment, Woola spotted the now fallen La Yan, but hadn't leaped from above yet. The opposing landlord suddenly swung his tentacle with force, delivering a powerful blow that sent him soaring a good 50 meters away. That move nearly knocked him unconscious. Luckily, he promptly administered the antidote to La Yan, saving his life. That's when Woola sensed a murderous vibe nearby. He whipped out his fan, ready to take the initiative, but to his shock, the opponent stood still as a statue, and he got pierced by a tentacle. After ingesting the antidote, La Yan gradually woke up inside the coffin. Dropping his handgun and firing off a couple of precise shots, he easily turned the tide and took control of the entire situation. I have to admit, the handgun was undoubtedly a real game-changer indeed. Meanwhile, Woola, tossed into the lake, inexplicably came back to life and even saw his younger self. This reminded him of 10 years ago when he rescued a girl in a red dress. Back on land, the recently escaped La Yan hastily rushed to chase after the aliens. The moment he fired at the alien, they were caught off guard, and the energy dagger tumbled out. La Yan had absolutely no intention of practicing martial arts. He grabbed the dagger and dashed off. As he was stealthily hiding behind the window, preparing to launch a surprise attack on an unsuspecting target, all of a sudden, an extremely ear-piercing noise erupted loudly, shaking the very foundations of hearing. Revived fairies sought revenge but discovered this tactic was entirely useless, getting knocked back repeatedly by the aliens. In addition, they inadvertently blew La Yan's true identity. Now Lai Yan was in even more trouble, finding himself back at square one. The aliens showed a complete disregard for martial arts ethics by resorting to such despicable tactics against Lai Yan, rendering him utterly speechless and powerless to retort. This particular move certainly opened the aliens' eyes wide. They realized brute force wouldn't cut it and fired lasers, nearly cooking the Pharaoh's hands. Ultimately, they were thoroughly knocked down by a relentless and persistent barrage. Meanwhile, the jar position behind them started to show signs of cracking, further worsening their precarious situation. Cornered by such severe circumstances, to everyone's surprise, Wooler gritted his teeth and rose to his feet once more, yet struggling to believe that such a minor character could possess such formidable strength. The alien, now down an arm, was pinned against the wall by Wooler. Seeing the tide turn, Lai Yan readied a death blow against the alien. One alien completely burst through the jar, revealing its true form. Everyone gasped. Clearly, this one was stronger. In such a situation, there was no choice but to show the enemy who was boss. Thanks for watching. If you like my video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel.